Right. Here we are. So, you know what I just noticed? Check this out. So, if you open github.dev, they now have enabled VS Code for, oh, okay, you have to be signed in. But they've enabled VS Code for all the, basically in browser, right? So, the question that I have, um, or rather that we have, is can we leverage uh, the in-browser environment and bridge that to whatever machines we have, right? So the first question is, they have existing SSH connectors and container connectors for remote development with VS Code. So what we're looking into is how to leverage the existing remote development stuff within VS Code and potentially patch in support for connection to workspaces directly managed via Coder, which is something that manages workspaces. It's like VS Code on your own infrastructure. So what we're trying to do is basically take the VS Code on our own infrastructure, which is the DFML community infrastructure. And we're trying to, which is, as we're using to develop our second party plugin ecosystem and make it accessible for maintainers or for contributors. So what we can do ideally is we will need to spin up a DERP server, and what we're going to do first is we're going to roll some containers. So we're going to have a container registry, and then we're going to deploy this coder thing on top of Kubernetes. And then finally, we will, first, actually, this will be the deployment, but the first thing we're going to do is patch VS Code to take advantage of that. Well, actually, okay, we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to deploy Coder first. So we should be able to deploy Coder. Workspaces. We should be able to deploy Coder using this DERP stuff. And then, okay, forwarding. Fantastic. Okay, and this will let us manage our workspaces and infrastructure with Terraform. So this way we can provide compute, for specific use cases, or we can enable the original thing that we wanted to do. With this whole thing is basically, as we're all working on different things, we need to be able to jump into different environments. So that we can review pull requests and so forth, right? So this has come up when I think if you go back about a year and a half in the weekly syncs or more. Okay, so remote agent service. So let's dig in here. So we followed this rabbit hole, and that's documented in the engineering log. Basically, search source graph. We weren't able to find the actual implementation via the documentation link for VS Code. If you go to the plugin documentation link, it doesn't link you actually to the code. It links you to a stub, which is just docs. The code, it actually looks like, is contained within the VS Code repo itself, perhaps under this SRC VS platform remote browser, and maybe this browser socket factory. So if we can figure out how to connect these web sockets, or if we can figure out what's going on with these web sockets, right? So references, new browser WebSocket. Okay, that's here. That's where we came from. Default WebSocket factory. So browser socket factory is probably what we want to look for there. Okay, so browser socket factory. Okay. What is this? So this is remote agent service, right? So we probably want to figure out what is remote agent service. Where is that used? Okay. Fetch pass. Remote agent service. So where is the remote agent service configured? Remote file system provider. So remote agent service. file system path. We want to figure out where does this thing get instantiated, right, and configured, because we had originally found this path by looking for the show terminal login, which is one of the config options, right? So we started looking for config options because we figured, okay, well, you're going to consume them somewhere, right? Okay, and then, you know, we should probably, it would be good for us to actually just look at what is the remote provider being used here. Remote Explorer, so GitHub code. Okay, so open remote repository. Repositories. Okay, GitHub remote repositories extension, right? So maybe we should Google for this thing, or not Google, but does this have anything? This also has nothing. Right, so there's no code here, which is obviously problematic. It's like, where's the code? GitHub extensions, GitHub authentication. Extension management. Extensions GitHub authentication. Extensions GitHub. Authentication. You know, maybe this isn't critical. Okay, maybe we'll do some. Okay. All right. Okay. What we will do is create some committees. Okay. Oh yeah, there's this. American engineer. I'm curious what term. Nice. Okay, so you can really do everything with this thing. Okay. Okay, so I've never done this. Okay, so what do I want? Postgres, which it has. They have Postgres. They do. Okay, let's choose the same data center. Okay, I think that's fine. We'll spin this stuff up and spin this stuff down. Okay, so we'll load the data into the Postgres database, and then, once again, we already have the DigitalOcean API automation. So we'll just add this database stuff for that. So, because what we'll do is, we'll define, and obviously we're just doing spin up, spin down here, but, we want to enable folks to do whatever. So I'm just picking DigitalOcean because it's extremely easy. So, for no reason other than that. Everything else was too complicated. So let's see. Creates multiple replicas. High availability. Okay, so it'll cost 10 cents an hour. Gotta be careful. Okay. Oh my god. Wait a minute. What? $100? Okay. Might as well request it, right? So, because what we'll do is, okay, so basically, okay, so for $4, the thing is we don't need that long. We can just spin this stuff up and spin it down. So this is actually incredibly cost effective. If it's true, if these things can really crank at the speed that, 8 CPUs. Basic nodes. So let's do turn on purpose no CPU, basic nodes, storage up. How much? I'm curious. I want to max it out. Okay, so it's okay. If you max it out, if you do something stupid, then it's $100 an hour. Okay. What the difference between a basic and professional plan is. Okay. I just want them to increase the limit in case we need it. Add another node pool. Oh, you can't have even more pools. Okay. Oh, they don't want you to just tank their infrastructure. I see. Makes sense. Okay. $1 an hour. That's wonderful. Okay. Oh wow, we can go crazy. Okay. We can really go crazy. Okay, so chaos. So I'll flash the gift. So I found out we found out about this chaos risk working group today, which pretty cool stuff that they've got going on there. And you know, chaos metrics. So chaos metrics for the chaos god. So they've also has a risk working group, which is interesting. So, and this is around, where did it go? Yeah, so this is interesting. Need to dig into this more. Dependency risk assessment. Obviously, we have touch points there. So we have touch points at quite a few of these places. It's like all of them. Not, you know, we're not really dealing with business risk so much, but you know, we want to enable people to, right? So via context awareness. So I'm going to join these calls. So you know, if anybody else wants to join me, I will be joining. See if we can understand what's going on there and contribute and get involved. So yeah, okay. So then beyond that, beyond that, what's going on? So yeah, I would like to, and then after seeing the risk stuff, saw this Augur. So basically very similar, right? So very similar to what we're doing. So what I was kind of thinking is that we could just spin this up, run some scans, and spin it down, right? So they have this database backend. Ooh, do they have containers? They do. They have containers published to GitHub. Okay, this solves our problem largely. Okay, so this is fantastic. Okay, so we can just, wow, this is great. Okay, this is fantastic. Okay, so we can just start doing this right now. I always say that. Okay, so let's take this and let's go over here and let's go, let me go to my repo. So we're just going to play with GitHub. Okay, so here's a branch. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll create an orphan branch. Or no, it won't run workflows that aren't in main, will it? Oh, but it doesn't matter because you can overwrite an existing workflow and then it will run it. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let's just go through here and do this. So let's say, should I contribute? Okay, so we should be able to run the back end. Okay. Let's see if we can figure this out. Okay. I think you can actually say, I need a container. GitHub database. Container. Service containers. I think this is what we want. Where did it go? All right, I'll just put now that we tabled that VSCode DERP thing. So what did we want? We wanted the service container. Okay, services Redis. Okay, so okay, push. All right, so we want the back end, right? And then 5,000, 5,000. Okay, so, and then we will put to the documentation. All right, so we'll put our references section. About service containers, blah, blah. And we'll do our running jobs in a container. All right, so, and then we'll also, and then we'll add the engineering log in the commit trailer, right? So, should I contribute? Okay, so yeah, this is fine. You know, I think repo URLs. Okay. Or we'll just do repo URL for now. This is workflow dispatch. So, yeah, okay, so let's say on push as well. So push. Okay, so then this is, what is this thing called? Augur. Right, okay, so Augur. It's all pretty self-explanatory, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then we want, so this is their compose file. Right, so I'll actually put this here. Call this Augur backend, right? Okay, so, and then, okay, that's right. So we want, I remember looking at these docs earlier. Okay. Okay. This. Right, so we should be able to spin up the whole thing within the job is the goal, right? And then we can see about expanding to different, you know, if we need to run on DigitalOcean or something. We can do that. So right now we'll just leverage the GitHub. Database. Okay, we actually want back end. Okay. Okay, this actually should have been this. And so this should be the database. And this should be the back end, because the back end is where it runs the scans. They said basically that it's not like a big, okay, so Docker and vi. Okay. I know that there's something to do here with this. Okay, so don't forget in the environment file, additionally, why are we not providing it via the maybe it's just because Docker scripts, Docker. Okay, so Docker envi, and then is this just gonna like put it in the environment though? env file. So let's take a look at this. Let's pin the hash as well. Okay. This should be Docker Compose, so that's Docker Compose, and then it looks like they have separate Docker Compose files. They're not actually using, they're like, they have separate Docker Compose files for whatever reason. So they have database compose instead of just putting in one thing. I think just for the setup and teardown, that's all required. So ports. Okay, so this is the database. So, okay. 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 Okay, so this script. Not do the unrendered version. Okay, so backend default ports for each service are okay. Why is that so many ports? Okay. All right, great. I think we can safely just throw all these environment variables in here. Call it a day. What is the with the database container? So database compose. All right, so let's check out that database compose again. DB type. Docker file context. It looks like it should be good to go when it's created. Let's take a look at the Docker file. Okay, and they've already copied the schema in. Okay. Okay, so to do security role or okay, so DB host, DB name, Postgres DB, test, user, Augur, password. Okay. And then we've defined the port and we've opened the port in the container. Okay, so I don't know what that would do, but I guess we'll run it. So if we did our DERP stuff, then maybe we can network a bunch of these jobs together. That could be interesting. So we could do workflow dispatch to start other instances. So this workflow dispatch would start the primary one that also has the database, and then we could do we could do the DERP server, and then we could do a matrix maybe to start more jobs, and then we could run all of the scanning that way. So no, I think we'll just do this. So okay. So that runs this in a container. Okay, and then we should have API key. Okay, so here is the token, the analysis token. We should already have Python. Okay, let's see. This should be sourced from the repo. So this should be for state of the art. Do it different. We can't look across branches. Okay, so we'll just update it statically to the state of the art for now. What about the contributing? Does that have the magic command? Okay. They already told me I can't have more droplets because we're not using enough droplets. Okay, so we just need to use some. What are you on about over here? Oh yeah, this was the computer with Git. That's the problem. I can't remember what we did here. We can't. Okay. Okay, so what do we want? We want state of the art commit equals from the README. Cut off everything before the equals. And we want to, oh, that's all. There we go. There's the latest and greatest. Okay, although that's not just greatest. Whatever. Okay, so, because this Git repo is bad. Or old. Okay. So, repo URL. Okay. Okay, so now what we'll do is okay, so then we're going to take localhost run and we'll expose the okay, so another backend. Okay, so we'll do localhost run. Okay. Okay, so we can figure out this stuff. We said we have set up Git. Okay, but were we in the container here? I guess the question is, what is in the Augur container? So what happens if you run this, right? So we want Alice to also run register metric, right? So we're probably gonna add one of these metrics to provide releases. Okay, so this is a query. So this must be the UI. Workers. GitHub worker. Repo info worker. Worker get interfaceable. Data source GitHub API. So let's do anything that says data source. Data source, okay, so data collection info. So let's look for data source just to see what we have here already. So GitLab. Augur repository data, GitHub API. Augur repository data. All right, we want to figure out where we should throw our data flow. It's not anywhere that says GitHub API, I don't think, right? Because we want to scan the repos themselves. So worker base, that could be interesting. Worker git integration. What's this? GH. Okay, so that's nice. Worker base. So this is very similar to the initial interface, that the initial metric collection. If you go way back in the code base, if you go back to like when the first open source release of DFML, very similar concept, only the workers are called metrics. So yeah, it works well, but you know, we can throw the data flows under it. It definitely provides more conventional structure. But the downside is the locking, right? And the locking and the lack of the ability to overlay based on data. Okay, so key, and then obviously this is all synchronous. So this is, what the heck is this? Okay, worker git. Maybe we could read the docs, development guide. Workers, make commands. Workers, creating a new worker. Okay. So if you're hitting an API on a platform like GitHub or GitLab, follow this pattern in workers. Okay, so this is what we want. And then we can expose it and we can mess with it. Okay, so in the housekeeper block, in the worker block, you need something like this. Also, if you want to have those blocks installed within Augur itself, when you do the PR, you need to add them to the root, Augur config py file. The recommended way is to set a port range not already in use inside of random variable range like others. This is new worker. Okay. You can copy housekeeper block verbatim. When you add it to your own Augur config.json from the worker block, and the config py, it would look like this. Or your worker port. Okay, so basically they're just grabbing random ports, all right. I'm not a huge fan, but okay. Switch variable tells worker variables how. Okay, so, yeah, I like whoever wrote this. That's, I will add this to the documentation. You, I enjoy you. That's wonderful. You copy paste. Bug report, copy paste. That's great. Fantastic. I thoroughly, wholeheartedly agree with that approach. Okay, so pull request worker. Okay, so data tables. Operations table. State redirects, jobs, delay. GitHub URL, model contributor Brett, model issue. Yeah, this is very much like the old metric API. I think this might be not